everybody. What the flick? We are back catching up on Gotham, episodes 10 and 11, Son of Gotham and Worse Than a Crime. I am back from my knee surgery debacle. We're here with Francis. Alonzo couldn't make it this week, but we are reviewing the show. And because that's what we do here. And now we will start doing that. Francis, go.
It was an episode. It was great. We've seen Jim once again in the best way that Gotham can go, take us in a different direction. We see Jim embrace his dark side, and in a moment, I don't want to skip too far ahead and ruin the rest of it, but that for me,
we're assuming they've seen the show.
Stand out. Well, I'm hoping. Trust me.
If you haven't seen the show, we're talking about stuff. What are you new here? Like, we talk about what happened on the show.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
I've had so many people complain about me spoiling an episode which they're watching a review
reviewing
for.
Okay.
We need to understand.
It's TV. All right, anyway, so moving on, yeah.
Yeah, so that, again, is when Gotham is at its best. It's at its finest when it puts Jim Gordon in a completely different light from what we expect to see him, and we see him and just symbolically move Penguin to the side and say, I'm going to take care of this. We don't need to beat him. I don't know if that shows his compassion towards Galavan, or if it shows that he just wants to get the job done and he doesn't trust the system enough, which is rightly so, of course, to allow Galavan to go through judicial process. Instead, he will just take it into his own hands.
I was watching this with my girlfriend, and there was a bit where it was like, oh yeah, Jim Gordon might have been responsible for the deaths of 2 good cops, and she was just like, yeah, maybe 4 bad ones. And I'm like, in Gotham, what? There's 8? There's 8 good cops? They're at a premium. That's it's kind of a big deal. Yeah. It's weird because it feels like we're constantly trying to approach an era in Gotham where things are getting less corrupt. The original shitty mayor is now out of the picture and not mayor anymore. Galavan is gone, so there's still going to have to be another damned election plot.
But is Galavan gone?
He's dead.
But that's the thing. When they took him into, what are they going to do? They're going to preserve his body to do some sort of. I mean, what's Dr. Strange going to do?
I don't know. So for those who may not know, so Hugo Strange is being introduced. He was one of Batman's very first villains.
Yep.
And it appears that we're going with some sort of geneticist Doctor Strange kind of thing going here, as opposed to the psychologist he often is in various different versions.
Yeah.
And we'll see where we're going. We also, at the end of this, I might as well just skip to it. We got Mr. Freeze coming.
Mr. Freeze, yeah. So
which bothers me because he's a doctor.
Yeah.
I did not go through 8 years of freezing school to be known as Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, and I didn't go through Arnold Schwarzenegger doing his best to tarnish my name to not be called a doctor. Come on. We need to bring him back. But this is so what is your thoughts on this? Because I've been really enjoying the show with our obviously a storyline which is focusing on Galavan, and there's been some sort of diversions on the way, but it's still been mainly focused around him, which is when Gotham it's at its best, when it's not doing so much of the monster of the week, and we run the risk of run the risk of running into another Balloon Man. Yeah. But what happens here is that it seems like that storyline literally is dead because he shoots him, if that is the case. And it seems like they're introducing 2 new villains. Now, do you think that it's going to head back into that way, or do you think they're going to still tie it into the consistent problems that are going on?
I think it's going to be the consistent problems that are going on. I think Hugo Strange is simply just going to be... I like that we're not going to be sticking with one primary villain the entire season. I think it keeps everything a little off kilter. Yeah. Especially when, unlike Jessica Jones, which you can binge in a week, you have to go through it a year. Galavan might get a little tiresome after a while. In fact, I would argue he already was. Yeah, so replacing with Hugo Strange, especially if he has a connection to Wayne Enterprises, makes sense. And I think there's potentially a lot of cool stuff there. We need to talk about the Order of Dumas, who haven't changed their clothes in hundreds of years.
So it smells good?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's so hokey the way that they've done it. They're like the Cult of Thorn in Halloween 6. Yeah, like it's just they're so I can't take them seriously. They're so silly about everything that they're doing, and they keep throwing the stuff in like it'll make sense. Like so, we're in Galavan's hotel, and they happen to have a medieval cell in there, and I'm like, did you get permission from the super for that? You're not getting your security deposit back. Like, that's kind of messed up. Like, that, you're not going to, it's all the little details that Gotham doesn't think of that makes it a treasure. Yeah. That makes it so much fun.
It's enjoyable. And also, I don't know what sort of mythical spirit took over our chief villain, Galavan's father, at the end, where he leapt like 12 feet in the air. Yeah! Like, I was like, holy Kobe, where did that come from? Like, what is going on? And he leapt at him before he knew he was taken. But did you not just get that sort of like sense of satisfaction? The Gotham writers at this point, and they're writing the show in that episode, and they're like, you know what? we're just going to have them fuck shit up at this point.
Right.
Like, they just come in, Penguin and his group on one side, the cops on the other side, Alfred is leading the way, and they don't even hesitate. Well, it's just like, bang, bang.
It's like, not even, it's just Penguin and his group. It's Penguin and his group and Catchild.
Yes, Catchild, who just is evolved now.
And also, they brought her like a baby-sized bulletproof vest, which they brought with them just in case they'd need that. Like,
I love how I never noticed those details, and when you say it, it just replayed in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
It's very, very odd. But when did she learn kung fu?
That's what I was saying.
Alfred was smacking her around a couple of weeks ago. She could have totally taken it back. When did this? I love it, but when did this happen? It's so great. Bruce. Oh, Bruce.
Yeah, I know. He's a sucker for a blonde.
Bruce, well, he's a sucker for a blonde, but even so, like he says at the end, I had a feasible escape plan. You should have told us that, because he's Princess Leia in this now, in the first movie, not after she like gets totally empowered and kicks ass in like Return of the Jedi, but like he's actually just there to be saved, and he's even wearing Leia's like white robe.
Yeah, that was very mythical. I agree. It was very similar to that, but that's the same point. I don't know whether that was just a pun, as if to say like, okay, I had it covered because he's very stubborn, or if in fact he had a plan. I don't know if he was going to try and sway his way into the grasp of Galavan's niece and find a way, but that seemed to backfire. I don't know where her view, like she definitely started to become more attached to Bruce, but was that still part of our plan that we were thinking? And then at the end, it seems that Galavan was onto her plan as well as much, because she tried to stop him from being killed at one point, correct?
Yes,
but
she did.
What is our views on Galavan's sister and their niece? Are they now on the straight and narrow that they've parachuted
Here's my thing. They parachuted into Gotham in a place where it was going to be swarming with police in moments. I would assume they'd just be arrested, but it's Gotham. Because they're just going to get hung up on a street lamp, and they're just going to be hanging like...
They're going to find Balloon Man, who's still floating, and they'll all navigate their way.
You're obsessed with Balloon Man. I love it.
Couldn't get over
it. I also want to say that I love Penguin and Riddler's sing-along time.
Yeah,
I want them to host like a Christmas special, a very Gotham Christmas.
I think that'd be great.
Where it's just all Enigma's apartment, and it's just, oh, hello there, I didn't see you come in. Also, Enigma's got to work on his riddles, man.
I know, that one was too easy to break. And
he just rhymed his address. That's not a riddle.
And he looked at Fox, and he was as if to say, like, as if he just met Einstein. He's like, how did you figure that out? Like, as if to say, I'm like, pretty easy riddle. I mean, I got it the first time you said it, but I agree.
We also cannot... We have to talk about the fact that Gordon's going to be a father.
Yes, of course.
Isn't that nice? And he's going to name it after the stalker who tried to kill him.
What a place. What a place to raise a kid.
How are we going to get to the point where he has a daughter named Barbara at this point? Like, I seriously want to know. Is she going to name him Barbara like to piss him off?
Yeah, how does that conversation come around? She's either going to name it, she's like, you know what? You're a douchebag, I'm going to name it off your psycho ex, or he's going to not be able to get away. Like, he's still having those dreams, right? He's still having those dreams that, well, she had a butterfly coming from her mouth. I don't know.
It's very sweet, very feminine. It's transformative. She'll be fine.
That could be, but that's going to be a fun scene, a fun conversation. Let's name her Barbara. Are you joking? What are you talking about?
I think we're going to take all the corpses of everyone who's dying, and then we're just going to have a zombie outbreak in Gotham by the end of the season.
If it happened, it wouldn't surprise me. And I guess that's both the beauty and the curse of the show, is that you kind of expect the unexpected, but so far it's still keeping me intrigued. It's not diverting off. That's why I'm anxious to see how they're going to introduce Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
It's going to be hopefully Dr. Freeze if they announce it. Or in Hugo Strange. Two characters who I'm obsessed with in the comics. Because Batman is one of the comic books that I have got thorough knowledge on. And I'm obsessed to see how they produce them. Like, I didn't really, I remember we had our qualms before. I think we agreed to disagree. I didn't like how they introduced Scarecrow previously. I thought he was such a known villain for me that I wanted to see how they'd introduce him. But I'm anxious to see how they introduce Strange specifically, because he's one of my favorite antagonists.
He's a really interesting antagonist, and I think there's a lot they could do with him, and I hope they don't screw him up, because they've got like an okay track record, but not a great track record. The show is campy and over the top, and I enjoy it. I wasn't here for the Army of Penguins episode to review that. That's one of my favorite things I've seen on TV all year. So anyway, Gotham, still a lot of fun, and we will be back reviewing it. I don't think it's going on a big Christmas hiatus, so we'll be back reviewing it very, very soon.